Today I'm going to show you guys how to fish the drop shot rig to catch more halibut. The reason the drop shot rig is so effective at catching halibut is because halibut are predatory fish that lay on the bottom and they wait to ambush prey that swims or drifts by them. The drop shot weight on the end of your line is bouncing along the bottom when you're fishing this or dragging, and your bait is just above it, which means that this is exactly in a halibut strike zone. If you're not familiar with what a drop shot rig is, it's a very simple rig consisting of a weight at the end of your line and about 12 to 16 inches above it. You tie on a hook of your choice and put your bait on it. When targeting halibut with the drop shot rig, you want to make sure you're fishing over sandy bottoms. You want to fish in bays, in the surf, piers, at the openings of river mouths or estuaries. They especially love sandy areas up along the edges of weed lines. When we free dive, we see halibut, they're laying right next to structure because they're waiting for small bait fish to come over the structure and they're going to come up and ambush them. You want to make sure to use a nice heavy weight between 3/4 and 2 ounces, about 16 inches below your hook. I recommend a 1/0 to a 3/0 straight shank hook. Choose your hook size based on how big of a bait you're going to use on your hook. For a rod and reel setup, we like to use a 7 to a 7.5 foot medium rod. To tie the rig, we like to use 12 to 15 pound fluorocarbon line. There are two main types of baits to use for fishing the drop shot rig for halibut. The first type is a curly tail grub. We like to use a 3 to 5 inch grub, and these are both Callan's Lunker grubs. We love these work amazing, and notice the color, we always use white. White seems to be the best color for halibut. When rigging the curly tail grub onto your hook, simply put the hook point right into the center of the end. Measure to about where you need to come out, slide the bait up the hook like so, and pop out the side. And that's all there is to rigging your curly tail grub on there. As you guys already noticed probably, this tail gives this bait all of its action. And this tail works by simply pulling the bait through the water. So when we're fishing this, making a long cast over sandy bottoms, and we're just doing a nice, slow, steady retrieve, and this tail has all the action of the bait. So slow, steady retrieve. You don't need to do any pops, no jerks. The second way to fish this rig is with a fluke style or a jerk style bait. These baits work awesome because they mimic real bait fish and they have a lot of action in the tail. Not like a curly tail, this rig actually needs a little more work to make it move. Our favorite baits are 3 to 5 inch fluke baits like the Bio Baits Switchback, the Z-Man Jerk Shad, and lastly, the Zoom Fluke and the Zoom Fluke Junior. This is a 3 inch and that's a 5 inch. When putting a fluke style bait on your straight shank hook, you simply want to go down through the nose, out the bottom, push the bait all the way up, turn that hook point around, through the belly and out the back of the bait, like so. If this hook point doesn't stick far up, that's awesome. That's actually better because halibut will bite onto this and the hook will be right inside their mouth. When fishing the fluke style bait, you want to make a nice long cast over sandy bottoms around a structure, and then you want to do 3 pops of the rod, lower the rod tip and reel in, do more pops of the rod, lower the rod tip and reel in. You want to fish this very slow. You want this lure to be bouncing along the bottom and give halibut time to come up and hit this. With both these techniques, you want to make sure you're moving very slow and that your weight is on the bottom because that's where the halibut are. And remember, if you're going too fast, they won't have time to react and actually hit your bait. My wife and I have noticed also, a lot of times the halibut will hit on the paws. I hope this helps you catch more halibut using the drop shot technique. Remember, you can use this technique anywhere there's sandy bottoms, and it is a very effective technique. Till next time, guys, fish on.